perfectly. Many of our students tonight, myself included, are performing from their homes and in the path of a tropical storm. And as such, we expect we may have some glitches along the way this evening. Should this happen, you might see a special guest appearance from our production manager, Madeline, who's going to help us navigate through and continue the sharing of our work to make sure we see all of our students' pieces before the evening is over. And with that, I will turn things over to our first pair. We hope you enjoy.
Break a leg.
Hello, everybody. My name is Julian. Welcome. This scene is from The Tempest. This my mean task would be as heavy to me as odious. But the mistress which I serve quickens what's dead, and makes my labors pleasures. Oh, she is 10 times more gentle than her father's crabbed, and he's composed of harshness. Oh. I must pile these up upon a sore injunction.
Alas now, pray you, work not so hard. My father is hard at study. Pray now rest yourself. If you'll sit down, I'll bear your logs the while. Pray give me that, I'll carry it to the pile.
No, precious creature, I had rather crack my sinews, break my back, than you should such dishonor undergo, while I sit lazy by.
It would become me as well as it does you. And I should do it with much more ease, for my good will is to it, and yours it is against. You look wearily.
No, noble mistress, 'tis fresh morning with me when you are by at night. I do beseech you, chiefly that I might set it in my prayers. What is your name?
Miranda. Oh, my father, I have broke your hest to say so.
Admired Miranda. Indeed, the top of admiration, worth what's dearest to the world. Full many a lady I have eyed with best regard, and many a time the harmony of their tongues hath into bondage brought my too diligent ear. For several virtues have I liked several women, never any with so full soul, but some defect in her did quarrel with the noblest grace she owed, and put it to the foil. But you, oh you, so perfect and so peerless, are created of every creature's best.
I do not know one of my own sex, no woman's face remember, save from my glass mine own. Nor have I seen more that I may call men than you, good friend, and my dear father. How features are abroad I'm skilless of, but by my modesty, my jewel and my dower, I would not wish any companion in the world but you.
I am in my condition a prince, Miranda. I do think a king. I would not so, and would no more endure this wooden slavery than to suffer the flesh fly blow my mouth. Hear my soul speak. The very instant that I saw you, did my heart fly to your service, and there resides to make me slave to it. And for your sake am I this patient logman.
Do you love me?
O heaven, O earth, bear witness to this sound, and crown what I profess with kind event if I speak true. If hollowly, invert what best is boded me to mischief. I, beyond all limit in the world, do love, prize, honor you.
I am a fool to weep at what I am glad of.
Wherefore weep you?
At mine unworthiness, that dare not offer what I desire to give, but much less take what I shall die to want. But this is trifling, and all the more it seeks to hide itself, the bigger bulk it shows. Hence bashful cunning, and plain prompt me holy innocence. I am your wife, if you will have me. If not, I'll die your maid. To be your fellow you may deny me, but I'll be your servant, whether you will or no.
My mistress, dearest, and I thus humble ever.
My husband, then?
I, with a heart as willing as bondage air of freedom. Here's my hand.
Oh, and mine, with my heart in it. Oh, now farewell, till half an hour hence.
Oh, a thousand. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Samantha Jenkins, and I will be doing Helena's monologue from All's Well That Ends Well. Then I confess, here on my knee before high heaven and you, that before you and next unto high heaven, I love your son. My friends were poor but honest, and so's my love. Be not offended, for it hurts not him that he is loved of me. I follow him not by any token of presumptuous suit, nor would I have him till I do deserve him, yet never know how that desert should be. I know I love in vain, strive against hope, yet in this captious and untenable sieve, I still pour in the waters of my love, and lack not to lose still. Thus, zealot, like religious in mine error, I still adore the sun that looks upon his worshipper, yet knows of him no more. My dearest madam, let not your hate encounter with my love for loving where you do, but if yourself, whose aged honor cites a virtuous youth, did ever in so true a flame of liking wish chastely and love dearly that your Diane was both herself and love? Oh, then give pity to her, whose state is such she cannot choose, but lend and give where she is sure to lose. That seeks not to find, her search implies, but riddle-like lives sweetly where she dies. Thank you.
Hello again. My name is Julian, and this is Proteus's monologue from Two Gentlemen of Verona. Even as one heat, another heat expels, or as one nail by strength drives out another. So the remembrance of my former love is by a newer object quite forgot. Is it mine? Or Valentine's praise, her true perfection, or my false transgression that makes me reasonless to reason thus? She is fair, and so is Julia that I love, that I did love, for now my love is thought, which like a waxen image against a fire bears no impression of the thing it was. Methinks my zeal to Valentine is cold, and that I love him not as I was wont. Oh, but I love his lady too much, and that's the reason I love him so little. How shall I dote on her with more advice, that thus without advice begin to love her? 'Tis but her picture I have yet beheld, and that hath dazzled my reason's light. But when I look on her perfection, there is no reason, but I shall be blind. If I can check my erring love, I will. If not, to compass her, I'll use my skill. Thank you.
Most noble brother, you have done me wrong.
Judge me, you gods, wrong I mine enemies? And if not so, how should I wrong a brother?
You've condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardians, where in my letters, praying on his side, because I knew the man, were slighted off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a case.
It is not meet that every nice offense should bear his comment.
Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm to sell and mart your offices for gold to undeservers.
Why? An itching palm? You know that you are Brutus that speak this, or by the gods this speech were else your last.
Remember March, the Ides of March, remember. Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body that did stab and not for justice? What shall one of us that struck the foremost man of all the world, but for supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes? I'd rather be a dog and bay the moon than such a Roman.
Brutus, bait not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself. To hedge me in? I am a soldier. I, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
Go to, you are not, Cassius.
I am.
You say you are a better soldier? Let it appear so. Make your vaunting true.
You wrong me every way. You wrong me, Brutus. I said an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say better?
If you did, I care not.
Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for.
You have done that you should be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats. For I am armed so strong in honesty that they pass by me as the idle wind which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me. For I can raise no money by vile means. Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? Would Marcus Brutus grow so covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends? Be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts. Dash him to pieces.
I denied you not.
You did.
I did not. He was but a fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath rived my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not till you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
A friendly eye could never see such faults.
A flatterer's would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Come, Antony and young Octavius, come. Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius, for Cassius is aweary of the world. Hated by one he loves, braved by his brother, checked like a bondman, all his faults observed, set in a notebook, learned and conned by rote to cast into my teeth. Oh, I could weep my spirit from mine eyes. There is my dagger, and here my naked breast within a heart, dearer than Plutus' mind, richer than gold. I that denied thee gold will give my heart. Strike, as thou didst at Caesar, for I know, when thou didst hate him worse, thou loved him better than ere thou lovest Cassius.
Sheath your dagger. Oh, Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that bears anger as the flint bears fire, who much enforced shows a hasty spark, and straight is cold again.
Hath Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him?
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too.
You confess so much. Give me your hand.
And my heart too.
Hi everyone, my name is Jack Bausch, and this is a Juliet monologue from Romeo and Juliet. Thou know'st the mask of night is on my face, else would a maiden blush bepaint my cheek. For that which thou hast heard me speak tonight, fain would I dwell on form, fain deny what I have spoke. But farewell, compliment. Dost thou love me? I know thou wilt say aye, and I will take thy word. Yet if thou swearest, thou mayst prove false. At lovers' perjuries, they say, Jove laughs. Oh, gentle Romeo, if thou dost love, pronounce it faithfully. Or if thou thinkst I am too quickly won, I'll frown and be perverse, and say thee nay, so thou wilt woo, but else not for the world. In truth, fair Montague, I am too fond, and therefore thou mayst think my behaviour light. But trust me, gentlemen, I'll prove more true than those that have more cunning to be strange. I should have been more strange, I must confess, but that thou o'erheardst ere I was aware my true love's passion. Therefore, pardon me, and not impute this yielding to light love, which the dark night hath so discovered. Thank you.
Hi again, my name is Brock Lozier, and this is Richard II. We are amazed. And thus long have we stood to watch the fearful bending of thy knee, because we thought ourself thy lawful king. And if we be, how dare thy joints forget to pay thy awful duty to our presence? If we be not, show us the hand of God that hath dismissed us from our stewardship. For well we know no hand of blood nor bone can grip the sacred handle of our scepter, unless he do profane, steal, or usurp. And though you think that all, as you have done, have torn their souls by turning them from us, and we are barren and bereft of friends, yet know my master, God omnipotent, is mustering in his clouds on our behalf armies of pestilence, and they will strike your children, yet unborn and unbegot, that lift your vassal hand against my head and threat the glory of my precious crown. Tell Bolingbroke, for yon methinks he stands, that every stride he makes upon my land is dangerous treason. He has come to open the purple testament of bleeding war, but ere the crown he looks for live in peace, 10,000 bloody crowns of mother sons shall ill become the flower of England's face, change her complexion from a maid pale peace to scarlet indignation, and bedew her pastures grass with faithful English blood. Thank you.
I love thee not, therefore pursue me not. Where is Lysander? And fair Hermia? The one I'll slay, the other slayeth me. Thou toldst me they were stolen unto this wood, and here am I, and woed within this wood, because I cannot meet my Hermia. Hence, get thee gone, and follow me no more.
You draw me, you hard-hearted adamant, but yet you draw not iron, for my heart is true as steel. Leave you your power to draw, and I shall have no power to follow you.
Do I entice you? Do I speak you fair? Or rather, do I not, in plainest truth, tell you I do not, nor I cannot love you?
And even for that I do love you the more. I am your spaniel, and Demetrius, the more you beat me, I will fawn on you. Use me, but as your spaniel. Spurn me, strike me, neglect me, lose me. Only give me leave unworthy as I am to follow you. What worser place can I beg in your love, and yet a place of high respect with me, than to be used as you use your dog?
Tempt not too much the hatred of my spirit, for I am sick when I do look on thee.
Oh, and I am sick when I look not on you.
You do impeach your modesty too much, to leave the city and commit yourself into the hands of one that loves you not, to trust the opportunity of night, and the ill counsel of a desert place with the rich worth of your virginity.
Your virtue is my privilege. For that it is not night when I do see your face, therefore I think I am not in the night. Nor doth this wood lack worlds of company, for you, in my respect, are all the world. Then how can it be said I am alone when all the world is here to look on me?
I will run from thee and hide me in the brakes, and leave thee to the mercy of wild beasts.
The wildest hath not such a heart as you. Run when you will, the story shall be changed. Apollo flies and Daphne holds the chase. The dove pursues the griffin. The mild hind makes speed to catch the tiger. Bootless speed when cowardice pursues and valor flies.
I will not stay thy questions. Let me go. Or, if thou follows me, do not believe, but I shall do thee mischief in the wood.
Why, in the temple, in the town, the field, you do me mischief. Fie, Demetrius, your wrongs do set a scandal on my sex. We cannot fight for love as men may do. We should be wooed, and were not made to woo. I'll follow thee, and make a heaven of hell, to die upon the hand I love so well. Hello, my name is Siobhan Stormont, and I will be doing one of Paulina's monologues from A Winter's Tale. What studied torments tyrant hast for me? What wheels, racks, fires, what flaying, boiling, in leads or oils? What older, newer torture must I receive, whose every word deserves to taste of thy most worst? Thy tyranny, together working with thy jealousies, fancies, too weak for boys, too green and idle for girls of 9. Oh, think what they have done, and then run mad indeed, stark mad. For all thy bygone fooleries were but spices of it, that thou betrayest Polixenes. 'Twas nothing that did but show thee of a fool, inconstant and damnable and grateful. Nor wast much, thou wouldst have poisoned good Camilo's honor, to have him kill a king. Poor trespasses more monstrous, standing by, whereof I reckon the casting forth to crows, thy baby daughter to be none, or little, though a devil, would have shed water out of fire ere done it. Nor is directly laid to thee the death of the young prince, whose honorable thoughts high for one so tender, cleft the heart, that could conceive a gross and foolish sire, blemished his gracious dam. This is not, no, laid to thy answer. But the last, oh lords, when I have said cry, woe, the queen, the sweetest, dearest creature's dead, and vengeance for it not dropped down yet. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Joe Hansen, and this is a posthumous monologue from Cymbeline. Is there no way for men to be, but women must be half-workers? We are all bastards. And that most venerable man, which I did call my father, was I know not where when I was stamped. Some coiner with his tools made me a counterfeit. Yet my mother seemed the Dian of that time, so doth my wife the nonpareil of this. Oh, vengeance, vengeance! Me of my lawful pleasure she restrained, and prayed me oft forbearance. Did it with a pudency so rosy the sweet view on it might well have warmed old Saturn, that I thought her as chaste as unsunned snow. Oh, all the devils! This yellow Iachimo in an hour was not, or less, at first. Perhaps he spoke not, but like a full-acorned boar, a German one cried, "Oh!" and mounted, found no opposition, but what he looked for should oppose, and she should from encounter guard. Could I find the woman's part in me? For there's no motion that tends to vice in man, but I affirm it is the woman's part. Be it lying, note it, the woman's; flattering, hers; deceiving, hers; lust and rank thoughts, hers; revenges, hers; ambitions, covetings, change of prides, disdain, nice longing, slanders, mutability, all faults that may be named, nay, that hell knows, why hers, in part or all, but rather all, and for even to vice, they are not constant, but are changing still, one vice but of a minute old, for one not half so old as that. I write against them, detest them, curse them, yet 'tis greater a skill in a true hate to pray they have their will. The very devils cannot plague them better. Thank you.
Lady Beatrice, have you wept all this while?
Yea, and I will weep a while longer.
I will not desire that.
I have no reason, I do it freely.
Surely I do believe your fair cousin is wronged.
Ah, how much might the man deserve of me that would right her?
Is there any way to show such friendship?
Very even way, but no such friend.
May a man do it?
It is a man's office, but not yours.
I do love nothing in the world so well as you. Is not that strange?
As strange as the thing I know not, it were as possible for me to say I love nothing so well as you. But believe me not, and yet I lie not, I confess nothing, nor I deny nothing. I am sorry for my cousin.
By my sword, Beatrice, thou lovest me.
Do not swear and eat it.
I will swear by it that you love me, and I will make him eat it that says I love not you.
Will you not eat your word?
With no sauce that can be devised to it. I protest, I love thee.
Why then, God forgive me.
What offense, sweet Beatrice?
You have stayed me in a happy hour. I was about to protest I loved you.
And do it with all thy heart.
I love you with so much of my heart that none is left to protest.
Oh, come, bid me do anything for thee.
Kill Claudio.
Not for the wide world.
You kill me to deny it. Farewell.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice.
I am gone, though I am here. There is no love in you. Nay, I pray you let me go.
Beatrice.
In faith, I will go.
We'll be friends first.
You dare easier be friends with me than fight with mine enemy.
Is Claudio thine enemy?
Is he not approved in the height of villain that had slandered, scorned, dishonored my kinswoman? Oh, that I were a man. What? Bear her in hand until they come to take hands, then with public accusation, uncovered slander, unmitigated rancor. Oh, God, that I were a man! I would eat his heart in the marketplace.
Hear me, Beatrice.
Talk with a man out at a window, a proper saying.
Oh, nay, but Beatrice.
Hero, she is wronged, she is slandered, she is undone.
Beatrice.
Princes and counties. Surely, a princely testimony, a goodly count convect. A sweet gallant, surely. Oh, that I were a man for his sake, or that I had any friend would be a man for my sake. But manhood is melted into courtesies, valor into compliment, and men are only turned into tongue, and trim ones too. He is now as valiant as Hercules that only tells a lie and swears it. I cannot be a man with wishing, therefore I will die a woman with grieving.
Tarry, sweet Beatrice. By this hand I love thee.
Use it for my love some other way than swearing by it.
Think in your soul the Count Claudio hath wronged Hero.
Yea, as sure as I have a thought or a soul.
Enough. I am engaged. I will challenge him. By this hand, Claudio shall render me a dear account. As you hear of me, so think of me. Go, comfort your cousin. I must say she is dead. And so, farewell. Hello, my name is Michael Lazarus, and tonight I will be performing a monologue from Richard III. Now is the winter of our discontent made glorious summer by this sun of York, and all the clouds that lowered upon our house in the deep bosom of the ocean buried. Now are our brows bound with victorious wreaths, our bruised arms hung up for monuments, our stern alarms changed to merry meetings, our dreadful marches to delightful measures. Grim-visaged war hath smoothed his wrinkled front, and now, instead of mounting barbed steeds to fright the souls of fearful adversaries, he capers nimbly in a lady's chamber to the lascivious pleasing of a lute. But I, that am not shaped for sportive tricks, nor made to court an amorous looking-glass, I that am rudely stamped, and want love's majesty to strut before a wanton ambling nymph. I that am curtailed of this fair proportion, cheated of feature by dissembling nature, deformed, unfinished, sent before my time into this breathing world scarce half made up, and that so lamely and unfashionable that dogs bark at me as I halt by them. Why, I in this weak piping time of peace have no delight to pass away the time, unless to spy my shadow in the sun and descant on mine own deformity. And therefore, since I cannot prove a lover, to entertain these fair, well-spoken days, I am determined to prove a villain and hate the idle pleasures of these days.
Hi again, I'm Aiden O'Neill, and this is a monologue, Imogen's monologue from Cymbeline. Away! I do condemn mine ears that have so long attended thee. If thou wert honorable, thou wouldst have told this tale for virtue, not for such an end thou seekst, as base, as strange. Thou wrongst a gentleman who is as far from thy report as thou from honor, and solicitst here a lady that disdains thee and the devil alike. What hope, Pisanio? The king, my father, shall be made acquainted of thy assault. If he shall think it fit, a saucy stranger in his court to mart, as in a Romish stew, and to expound his beastly mind to us, he hath a court he little cares for, and a daughter who he not respects at all. Thank you.
Sister, what's the comfort?
Why, as all comforts are, most good indeed. Lord Angelo, having affairs to heaven, intends you for his swift ambassador, where you shall be an everlasting leisure. Therefore your best appointment make with speed. Tomorrow you set on.
There no remedy?
None, but such remedy as to save a head, to cleave a heart in twain.
But is there any?
Yes, brother, you may live. There is a devilish mercy in the judge, if you'll implore it, that will free your life, but fetter you till death.
Perpetual durance?
Why? Just perpetual durance of restraint, though all the world's fastidiety you had to a determined scope.
But in what nature?
In such a one as you, consenting to it, would bark your honor from that trunk you bear, and leave you naked.
Let me know the point.
I do fear thee, Claudio, and I quake, lest thou a feverish life shouldst entertain, and 6 or 7 winters more respect than a perpetual honor. Darest thou die? The sense of death is most in apprehension, and the poor beetle that we tread upon in corporal sufferance finds a pang as great as when a giant dies.
Why give you me this shame? Think you I can a resolution fetch from flowery tenderness? If I must die, I will encounter darkness as a bride and hug it in mine arms.
There spake my brother, there my father's grave did utter forth a voice. Yes, thou must die. Thou art too noble to conserve a life in base appliances. This outward sainted deputy, whose settled visage and deliberate word nips youth in the head, and follies doth emue as falcon doth the fowl, is yet a devil. His filth within being cast, he would appear a pond as deep as hell.
Princely Angelo?
'Tis the cunning livery of hell, the damnedest body to invest and cover in princely guards. Dost thou think, Claudio, if I would yield him my virginity, thou mightst be freed?
Heavens, it cannot be.
Less he would give thee from this rank offense, so to offend him still. This night's the time that I should do what I abhor to name, or else thou diest tomorrow.
Thou shalt not do it.
Oh, were it but my life, I'd lay it down for your deliverance as frankly as a pin.
Thanks, dear Isabel.
Be ready, Claudio, for your death tomorrow.
Yes. Has he affections in him that thus can make him bite the law by the nose when he would force it? Sure, it is no sin. For of the deadly 7, it is the least.
Which is the least?
If it were damnable, he, being so wise, why would he, for the momentary trick, be perdurably fined? Oh, Isabel.
What says my brother?
Death is a fearful thing.
And shamed life a hateful.
Aye, but to die, and go we know not where, to lie in cold obstruction and to rot, this sensible warm motion to become a kneaded clod, and the delighted spirit to bathe in fiery floods, or to reside in thrilling region of thick ribbed ice. be imprisoned in the viewless winds, and blown with restless violence round about the pendant world, or to be worse than worst of those that lawless and uncertain thought imagine howling. 'Tis too horrible. The weariest and most loathed worldly life that age, ache, penury, and imprisonment can lay on nature is a paradise to what we fear of death.
Alas, alas!
Sweet sister, let me live. What sin you do to save a brother's life, nature dispenses with the deed so far that it becomes a virtue.
You beast! O faithless coward, O dishonest wretch! Wilt thou be made a man out of my vice? Is not a kind of incest to take life from mine own sister's shame? What should I think? Head and shield my mother played my father fair, for such a warped slip of wilderness ne'er issued from his blood. Take my defiance. Die. Perish. Might but my bending down reprieve thee from thy fate, it should proceed. I'll pray 1,000 prayers for thy death, no word to save thee.
Nay, hear me, Isabel.
Oh, fie! Thy sin's not accidental, but a trade. Mercy to thee would prove itself a bawd. 'Tis best thou diest quickly.
Oh, hear me, Isabella!
Hi, I'm Danielle Kerr, and I'll be doing a Lady Percy monologue from Henry IV, Part 1. Thanks for watching. Oh, my good lord, why are you thus alone? For what offense have I this fortnight been a banished woman from my Harry's bed? Tell me, sweet lord, what is that takes from thee thy stomach, pleasure, and thy golden sleep? Why dost thou bend thine eyes upon the earth, and start so often when thou sitt'st alone? Why hast thou lost the fresh blood in thy cheeks, and given my treasures and my rights of thee to thick-eyed musing and cursed melancholy? In thy faint slumbers I by thee have watched, and heard thee murmur tales of iron wars, speak terms of manage to thy bounding steed, cry courage to the field. And thou hast talked of sallies and retires, of trenches, tents, of palisadoes, frontiers, parapets, of basilisks, of cannon, culverin, of prisoners' ransom, and of soldiers slain, and all the currents of a heady fight. Thy spirit within thee hath been so at war, and thus hath so bestirred thee in thy sleep, that beads of sweat have stood upon thy brow, like bubbles in a late disturbed stream. And in thy face strange motions have appeared, such as we see when men restrain their breath on some great sudden hest. Oh, what portents are these? Some heavy business hath my lord in hand, and I must know it, else he loves me not. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Scotty Call, and this is a Prince Louis monologue from King John. Your grace shall pardon me. I will not back. I am too high born to be propertied, to be a secondary at control, or useful serving man and instrument to any sovereign state throughout the world. Your breath first kindled the dead coal of wars between this chastised kingdom and myself, and brought in matter that should feed this fire. And now 'tis far too huge to be blown out with that same weak wind which enkindled it. You taught me how to know the face of right, acquainted me with interest to this land, yea, thrust this enterprise into my heart. And come you now to tell me John hath made his peace with Rome? What is that peace to me? I, by the honor of my marriage bed, after young Arthur, claim this land for mine. Now it is half conquered, must I back, because that John hath made his peace with Rome. Am I Rome's slave? What penny hath Rome borne? What men provided? What munition sent to underprop this action? Is it not I that undergo this charge? Who else but I, and such as to my claim are liable, sweat in this business and maintain this war? Have I not heard these islanders shout out, Vive le Roi, as I have banked their towns? Have I not here the best cards for the game to win this easy match played for a crown? And shall I now give o'er this yielded set? No, no, on my soul, it never shall be said. Thank you.
He after honor hunts, I after love. He leaves his friends to dignify them more. I leave myself, my friends, and all for love. Thou, Julia, thou hast metamorphosed me, made me neglect my studies, lose my time, war with good counsel, set the world at naught, made wit with musing weak, heart sick with thought.
Sir Proteus, save you. Saw you my master?
But now he parted hence to embark for Milan.
20 to 1 then he has shipped already, and I have played the sheep in losing him.
Indeed, the sheep doth very often stray, and if the shepherd be a while away.
You conclude that my master is a shepherd then, and I a sheep?
I do.
Why then, my horns are his horns, whether I wake or sleep.
A silly answer, and fitting well a sheep.
This proves me still a sheep.
True, and thy master a shepherd.
Nay, that I can deny by a circumstance.
It shall go hard, but I'll prove it by another.
The shepherd seeks the sheep, not the sheep the shepherd. But I seek my master, and my master seeks not me. Therefore I am no sheep.
The sheep for fodder follow the shepherd. The shepherd for food follows not the sheep. Thou for wages followest thy master. Thy master for wages follows not thee. Therefore thou art a sheep.
Such another proof will make me cry, bah!
But dost thou hear? Gavest thou my letter to Julia?
Aye, sir. I, a lost mutton, gave your letter to her, a laced mutton, and she, a laced mutton, gave me, a lost mutton, nothing for my labor.
Here is too small a pasture for such store of muttons.
If the ground be overcharged, you were best stick her.
Nay, in that you are astray. 'Twere best pound you.
Nay, sir, less than a pound shall serve me for carrying your letter.
You mistake. I mean the pound. A pinfold.
From a pound to a pin, folded over and over, 'tis threefold too little for carrying a letter to your lover.
But what said she?
I.
Nod. Aye. Why, that's naughty.
You mistook, sir. I say she did nod, and you ask me if she did nod, and I say aye.
And that set together is naughty.
Now that you have taken the pains to set it together, take it for your pains.
No, you shall have it for bearing the letter.
Well, I perceive I must be fain to bear with you.
Why, sir, how do you bear with me?
Marry, sir, the letter, very orderly, having nothing but the word naughty for my pains.
Beshrew me, but you have a quick wit.
And yet it cannot overtake your slow purse.
Come, open the matter in brief. What said she?
Open your purse that the money and the matter may be at both once delivered.
Well, sir, here is for your pains. What said she?
Truly, sir, I think you'll hardly win her.
What, couldst thou perceive so much from her?
Sir, I could perceive nothing at all from her. No, not so much as a ducat for delivering your letter. And being so hard to me in bringing your mind, I fear she'll prove just as hard to you in telling your mind. Give her no tokens but stones, for she's as hard as steel.
What said she? Nothing.
No, not so much as take this for thy pains. To testify your bounty, I thank you. You have just earned me. In requital whereof henceforth carry your letters yourself. And so, sir, I'll commend you to my master.
Go, be gone to save your ship from wreck, which cannot perish, having thee on board, being destined to a drier death on shore. I must go seek some better messenger. I fear my Julia would not deign my lines, receiving them from such a worthless post. Thank you. And hi, my name is Chloe Otterson. I'm going to be doing one of Catherine's monologues from The Taming of the Shrew. No shame but mine. I must forsooth be forced to give my hand, opposed against my heart unto a mad-brained rudesby, full of spleen, who wooed in haste and means to wed at leisure. I told you, he was a frantic fool, hiding his bitter jests in blunt behavior. And, to be noted for a merry man, he'll woo 1,000, make feasts, invite friends, and proclaim the banns, yet never means to wed where he hath wooed. Now must the world point at poor Catherine and say, lo, there is mad Petruchio's wife. If it would please him, come and marry her. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Allison Valerio, and I'm going to be doing Phoebe's monologue from As You Like It. Think not I love him, though I ask for him. 'Tis but a peevish boy, and yet he talks well. What care I for words? Yet words do well when he that speaks them pleases those that hear. It is a pretty youth, not very pretty, but sure he's proud, and yet his pride becomes him. He'll make a proper man. The best thing in him is his complexion, and faster than his tongue did make offense, his eye did heal it up. He is not very tall, yet for his years he's tall. His leg is but so, yet 'tis well. There was a pretty redness in his lip, a little riper and more lusty red than that mixed in with his cheek. There be some women, Silvius, had they marked him in parcels as I did, would have gone near to fall in love with him. But for my part, I love him not, nor hate him not. Yet have more cause to hate him than to love him, for what had he to do to chide at me? He said mine eyes were black, and my hair black, and now I am remembered scorned at me. I marvel why I answered not again. I shall write him a very taunting letter, and thou shalt bear it. Wilt thou, Silvius? Thank you.
Let him thank me that helped to send him thither, for he was fitter for that place than earth.
And thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yes, one place else, if you will hear me name it.
Some dungeon.
Your bedchamber.
Ill rest betide the chamber where thou liest.
So will it, madam, till I lie with you.
I hope so.
I know so. But, gentle Lady Anne, to leave this keen encounter of our wits and fall something into a slower method, is not the causer of the timeless deaths of these Plantagenets, Henry and Edward, as blameful as the executioner?
Thou wast the cause and most accursed effect.
Your beauty was the cause of that effect. Your beauty that did haunt me in my sleep to undertake the death of all the world so that I might live 1 hour in your sweet bosom.
If I thought that, I tell thee homicide, these nails should rend that beauty from my cheeks.
These eyes could not endure that beauty's wreck. You should not blemish it if I stood by. As all the world is cheered by the sun, so I by that. It is my day, my life.
Black night, or shade thy day, and death thy life.
Curse not thyself, fair creature, thou art both.
I would I were to be revenged on thee.
It is a quarrel most unnatural to be revenged on him that loveth thee.
It is a quarrel just and reasonable to be revenged on him that killed my husband.
He that bereft thee, lady, of thy husband, did it to help you to a better husband.
His better doth not breathe upon this earth.
He lives and loves thee better than he could.
Name him.
Plantagenet.
Why, that was he.
The self-same name, but one of better nature.
And where is he?
Here. Why dost thou spit at me?
Would it were mortal poison for thy sake.
Never came poison from so sweet a place.
Never hung poison on a fowl or toad. Out of my sight, thou dost infect mine eyes.
Thine eyes, sweet lady, have infected mine.
Would they were basilisks to strike thee dead.
I would they were, so that I might die at once, for now they kill me with a living death. Those eyes of thine from mine have drawn salt tears, shamed their aspects with store of childish drops. These eyes, which never shed remorseful tear, no, when my father York and Edward wept to hear the piteous moan that Rutland made when black-faced Clifford shook his sword at him, nor when thy warlike father, like a child, told the sad story of my father's death, and 20 times made pause to sob and weep, that all the standers-by had wet their cheeks like trees bedashed with rain. In that sad time, my manly eyes did shed an humble tear, and what those sorrows could not thence exhale, thy beauty hath, and made them blind with weeping. Teach not thy lips such scorn, for it was made for kissing, lady, not for such contempt. If thy revengeful heart cannot forgive, lo here, I lend thee this sharp-pointed sword, which if thou please to hide in this true breast, and let forth the soul that adoreth thee, I lay it naked to the deadly stroke, and humbly beg the death upon my knee. Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry, but 'twas thy beauty that provoked me. Take up the sword again, or take up me.
Arise, dissembler. Though I wish thy death, I will not be thy executioner.
Then bid me kill myself, and I will do it.
I have already.
That was in thy rage. Speak it again, and even with the word, this hand, which for thy love did kill thy love, shall for thy love kill a far truer love.
I would I knew thy
death
heart.
shall thou be accessory.
I would I knew thy heart.
'Tis figured in my tongue.
I fear me both are false.
Then never was man true.
Well, well. Put up your sword.
Say then my peace is made.
Thou shalt know hereafter.
But shall I live in hope?
All men I hope live so.
Vouchsafe to wear this ring.
To take is not to give. Hello, my name is Matthew Kisher, and I will be doing a monologue from Hamlet as Hamlet. Look here upon this picture and on this, the counterfeit presentment of two brothers. See what grace was seated on his brow, Hyperin's curls, the front of Jove himself, an eye like Mars to threaten and command, a station like the herald Mercury, new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill, to give the world, where every god did seem to set his seal, to give the world assurance of man. This was your husband. Look you now what follows.
Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear, blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Could you, on this fair mountain, leave to feed and batten on this moor? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love, for at your age, the heyday in the blood is tame, it's humble, and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? Sense, sure you have, else you could not have motion. But sure that sense is apocalypsed, for madness would not err, nor sense to ecstasy would ne'er be so thralled to serve in such a difference. What devil was it that thus hath cozened you at hoodman blind? Eyes without feeling, feeling without sight, ears without hands or eyes, and smelling sans all. Or but a sickly part of one true sense could not so mope. Oh, shame, where is thy blush? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Annika Burley, and I will be doing Rosalind's monologue from As You Like It. And why, I pray you? Who might be your mother that you insult, exalt, and all at once o'er the wretched? What though you have no beauty, as by my faith, I see no more in you than without candle may go dark to bed? Must you be therefore proud and pitiless? Why, what means this? Why do you look on me? I see no more in you than in the ordinary of nature's sail work. Odds my little life, I think she means to tangle my eyes too. No, faith, proud mistress, hope not after it. 'Tis not your inky brows, your black silk hair, your bugle eyeballs, nor your cheek of cream that can tame my spirits to your worship. You foolish shepherd! Wherefore do you follow her like foggy south, puffing with wind and rain? You are 1,000 times a properer man than she a woman. 'Tis fools such as you that make the world full of ill-favored children. 'Tis not her glass, but you that flatters her, and out of you she sees herself more proper than any of her lineaments can show her. But mistress, know yourself. Down on your knees and think heaven fasting for a good man's love. For I must tell you, friendly in your ear, sell when you can. You are not for all markets. Cry the man mercy, love him, take his offer. Foul is most foul, being foul to be a scoffer. Take her to thee, shepherd. Fare you well. Thank you.
Hi there, I'm Katie Kandari.
And I'm Melinda Kalanzis.
And this is Macbeth.
Act 1, Scene 7. Thank you.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence and catch with his surceased success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here, upon this vacant shoal of time, we jump the life to come. But in these cases, we still have judgment here. That we but teach bloody instructions with being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poison chalice to our own lips. He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself? Besides, this Duncan hath borne himself so meek in his great office, that his virtues will fly like angels, trumpet time, damnation of his taking off, and pity like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim coursed on sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other. How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honored me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest glass, not cast aside so soon.
Was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since? And wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeared to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteemst the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Prithee, peace! I may do all that may become a man. Who may do more is none.
What beast was then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were so much more than a man. Nor time nor place did that here, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
If we fail,
we fail, but screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him. His 2 chamberlains will I with wine and wassails so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the guarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Bring forth men children only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received, when we have marked with blood those sleepy 2 of his own chamber with their very daggers? They have done it.
Who dares believe it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamor roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporeal agent to this horrible feat. Away, and mock the time with fairest show. False face must hide what the false heart doth know. Hi again, I'm Katie Kandari, and this is Isabella from Measure for Measure. Oh, it is excellent to have a giant's strength, but it is tyrannous to use it like a giant. Could great men thunder, as Jove himself does, Jove would ne'er be quiet. For every pelting petty officer would use his heaven for thunder, nothing but thunder. Merciful heaven, thou rather with thy sharp and sulphurous bolt splits the unwedgeable and gnarled oak than the soft myrtle, but man, proud man, dressed in a little brief authority, most ignorant of what he's most assured, his glassy essence like an angry ape, plays such fantastic tricks before high heaven as make the angels weep, who with our spleens would all themselves lack mortal. We cannot weigh our brother with ourself. Great men may jest with saints, 'tis wit in them, but in the less, foul profanation. That in the captain's but a choleric word, in the soldier is flat blasphemy, because authority, though it err like others, hath yet a kind of medicine in itself that skins the vice o' the top. Go to your bosom, knock there, and ask your heart what it doth know that's like my brother's fault. If it confess a natural guiltiness such as is his, let it not sound a thought upon thy tongue against my brother's life. Thank you.
This is Melinda Calantis again, and I will finish this monologue from Julius Caesar, Act 2, Scene. Is Brutus sick? And is it physical to walk unbraced and suck up the humors of the dank morning? What? Is Brutus sick? And will he steal out of his wholesome bed to dare the vile contagion of the night and tempt the roomy and the unpurged air to add unto his sickness? No, my Brutus, you have some sick offense within your mind, which by the right and virtue of my place I ought to know of. And upon my knees I charm you, by my once commended beauty, by all your vows of love, and that great vow which did incorporate and make us one, that you unfold to me yourself, your half, why you are heavy. Is it accepted I should know no secrets that appertain to you? Am I yourself but as it were, in sort or limitation, to keep with you at meals, comfort your bed, and talk to you sometimes? Dwell I but in the suburbs of your good pleasure? If it be no more, Portia is Brutus' harlot, not his wife. I grant I am a woman, but withal a woman well reputed, Cato's daughter. Think you I am no stronger than my sex, being so fathered and so husbanded? Tell me your counsels, I will not disclose them. I have made strong proof of my constancy, giving myself a voluntary wound here in the thigh. Can I bear that with patience and not my husband's secrets? Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shannon Kelly,
And I'm Sam Evans
and we will be performing Cassius and Brutus.
from Julius Caesar, Act 4, Scene 3.
That you have wronged me doth appear in this. You have condemned and noted Lucius Pella for taking bribes here of the Sardians, wherein my letters praying on his side because I knew the man will slight it off.
You wronged yourself to write in such a case. Let me tell you, Cassius, you yourself are much condemned to have an itching palm, to sell and mart your offices for gold to undeservers.
I, an itching palm? You know that you are Brutus that speak this, or by the gods, this speech were else your last.
The name of Cassius honors this corruption, and chastisement doth therefore hide his head.
Chastisement?
Remember March? The Ides of March, remember? Did not great Julius bleed for justice' sake? What villain touched his body that did stab and not for justice? What shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes and sell the mighty space of our large honors for so much trash as may be grasped thus? I had rather be a dog and bay the moon than such a Roman.
Brutus, bait not me. I'll not endure it. You forget yourself to hedge me in. I am a soldier. I, older in practice, abler than yourself to make conditions.
Go to. You are not, Cassius.
I am.
I say you are not.
Urge me no more. I shall forget myself.
Away, slight man.
It's possible.
Hear me, for I will speak. Must I give way and room to your rash choler?
Oh, ye gods, must I endure all this?
All this, aye, more. Fret till your proud heart break. Go show your slaves how choleric you are, and make your bondmen tremble. Must I budge? Must I observe you? Must I stand and crouch under your testy humor? From this day forth, I shall use you for my mirth, yea, for my laughter, when you are waspish.
Is it come to this?
You say you are a better soldier. Let it appear so. For mine own part, I shall be glad to learn of noble men.
You wrong me? Every way you wrong me, Brutus. I said an elder soldier, not a better. Did I say better?
If you did, I care not.
When Caesar lived, he durst not thus have moved me.
Peace, peace. You durst not so have tempted him.
I durst not.
No.
What? Durst not tempt him?
For your life you durst not.
Do not presume too much upon my love. I may do that I shall be sorry for.
You have done that you shall be sorry for. There is no terror, Cassius, in your threats.
For I am armed so strong in honesty that they pass by me as the idle wind, which I respect not. I did send to you for certain sums of gold, which you denied me. Should I have answered Caius Cassius so? When Marcus Brutus grows so covetous to lock such rascal counters from his friends, be ready, gods, with all your thunderbolts, dash him to pieces.
I denied you not.
You did.
I did not. He was the fool that brought my answer back. Brutus hath rived my heart. A friend should bear his friend's infirmities, but Brutus makes mine greater than they are.
I do not till you practice them on me.
You love me not.
I do not like your faults.
Oh, a friendly eye could never see such faults.
A flatterer's would not, though they do appear as huge as high Olympus.
Well, come, Antony, and young Octavius, come. Revenge yourselves alone on Cassius, for Cassius is aweary of the world, hated by one he loves. Oh, I could weep my spirit from mine eyes. There is my dagger, and here my naked breast, within a heart dearer than Pluto's mine, richer than gold. If that thou beest a Roman, take it forth. I that denied thee gold shall give my heart. Strike if thou didst at Caesar, for I know when thou didst hate him worse, thou lovest him better than ever thou lovest Cassius.
Sheathe your dagger. Be angry when you will. It shall have scope. Oh, Cassius, you are yoked with a lamb that carries anger as the flint bears fire, who much enforced shows a hasty spark, and straight is cold again.
Hath Cassius lived to be but mirth and laughter to his Brutus, when grief and blood ill-tempered vexeth him?
When I spoke that, I was ill-tempered too.
Do you confess so much? Give me your hand.
And my heart too.
Oh, Brutus.
What's the matter?
Have you not love enough to bear with me when that rash humor which my mother gave me makes me forgetful?
Yes, Cassius. And from henceforth, when you are over earnest with your Brutus, he'll think your mother chides and leave you so.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sam Evans, and this is King Henry from Henry V. O God of battles, steel my soldiers' hearts. Possess them not with fear. Take from them now the sense of reckoning if the opposed numbers pluck their hearts from them. Not today, O Lord, oh, not today. Think not upon the fault my father made in compassing the crown. I Richard's body have entered anew, and on it have bestowed more contrite tears than from it issued forced drops of blood. 500 poor I have in yearly pay, who twice a day their withered hands hold up towards heaven to pardon blood. And I have built 2 chantries, with a sad and solemn priest sing still for Richard's soul. More will I do, though all that I can do is nothing worth, since that my penitence comes after all, imploring pardon. Thank you.
Hi again. My name is Shannon Kelly, and I'll be performing Portia from The Merchant of Venice. You see me, Lord Bassanio, where I stand, such as I am. Though for myself alone, I would not be ambitious in my wish to wish myself much better. Yet for you, I would be troubled 20 times myself, 1,000 times more fair, 10,000 times more rich, that only to stand high in your account, I might in virtues, beauties, livings, friends, exceed account. But the full sum of me is sum of something, which, the term in gross, is an unlessoned girl, unschooled, unpracticed, Well, happy in this, she is not yet so old, but she may learn. Happier than this, she is not bred so dull, but she can learn. Happiest of all is that her gentle spirit commits itself to yours to be directed, as from her lord, her governor, her king. Myself and what is mine to you and yours is now converted. But now I was the lord of this fair mansion, master of my servants, queen or myself, and even now, but now, this house, these servants, and this same myself are yours, my lords. I give them with this ring, which, when you part from, lose, or give away, let it presage the ruin of your love and be my vantage to exclaim on you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Liz Matera, and I'll be playing Rosalind.
And I'm Jess McGowan, and I will be playing Celia.
And this is Act 3, Scene 2 of As You Like It.
Didst thou hear these verses?
Oh, yes, I heard them all, and more too, for some of them had in them more feet than the verse would bear.
That's no matter, the feet might bear the verses.
Aye, but the feet were lame and could not bear themselves without the verse, and therefore stood lamely in the verse.
But didst thou hear without wondering how thy name should be hanged and carved upon these trees?
I was 7 of the 9 days out of the wonder before you came. For look here what I found on a palm tree. I was not so berhymed since Pythagoras' time that I was an Irish rat, which I can hardly remember.
Trow, you who hath done this?
Is it a man?
And a chain that you once wore upon his neck. Change you color.
I prithee, who?
Oh, Lord, Lord. It is a hard matter for friends to meet, but mountains may be removed by earthquakes and so encounter.
Nay, but who is it?
It's impossible.
Nay, I prithee now, with most petitionary vehemence, tell me who it is.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful, and most wonderful, wonderful, and yet again wonderful, and after that, out of all hooping.
Good, my complexion. Does thou think, though I am comparisoned like a man, I have a doublet and hose in my disposition? 1 inch of delay more is a South Sea of discovery. I prithee, tell me who it is quickly, and speak apace. I would thou couldst stammer, that thou might pour this concealed man out of thy mouth, as wine comes out of a narrow-mouthed bottle, either too much at once, or none at all. I prithee, take the cork out of thy mouth, that may drink thy tidings.
So you may put a man in your belly.
Is he of God's making? What matter of man? Is his head worth a hat, or his chin worth a beard?
Nay, he hath but a little beard.
Why, God will send more, if the man will be thankful. Let me stay the growth of his beard, if thou delay me not the knowledge of his chin.
It is young Orlando, who tripped up the wrestler's heels and your heart both in an instant.
Nay, but the devil take mocking. Speak, sad brow and true maid.
In faith, cuz 'tis he.
Orlando?
Orlando!
Alas the day! What shall I do with my doublet and hose? What did he when thou saw'st him? What said he? How looked he? Wherein went he? What makes him here? Did he ask for me? Where remains he? How parted he with thee? And when shalt thou see him again? Answer me in 1 word.
You must borrow me Gargantua's mouth first. 'Tis a word too great for any mouth of this age's size. To say aye and no to these particulars is more than to answer in a catechism.
But does he know I'm in the forest and in man's apparel? Looks he as freshly as he did the day he wrestled?
It is as easy to count atomies as to resolve the propositions of a lover. But take a taste in my finding him and relish it with good observance. I found him under a tree like a dropped acorn.
It may well be called Jove's tree when it drops forth such fruit.
Give me audience, good madam.
Proceed.
There he lay, stretched along like a wounded knight.
It would be a pity to see such a sight. It well becomes the ground.
Cry holla to thy tongue, I prithee. It curvets unseasonably. He was furnished like a hunter.
Oh, ominous. He comes to kill my heart.
Sing my song without a burden. Thou brings me out of tune.
Do you not know I am a woman? When I think, I must speak. Sweet, say on.
You bring me out. Soft. Comes he not here? Hi, my name is Justin Gowan, and I will be doing Arthur from King John. Have you the heart? When your head did but ache, I knit my handkerchief about your brow. The best I had, a princess, brought it me, and I did never ask it you again. And with my hand at midnight held your head, and like the watchful minutes to the hour still, and anon cheered up the heavy time, saying, what lack you? Or where lies your grief? Or what good love may I perform for you? Many a poor man's son would have lain still and ne'er have spoke a loving word to you. But you, at your sick service, had a prince. Nay, you may say my love was crafty love, and call it cunning. Do. And if you will, if heaven be pleased that you must use me ill, why then you must. Will you put out mine eyes? These eyes that never have, nor never shall, so much as frown on you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Liz Matera, and this is Macbeth. Is this a dagger which I see before me? The handle toward my hand? Come, let me clutch thee. I have thee not, and yet I see thee still. Art thou not fatal vision, sensible to feeling as to sight? Or art thou but a dagger of the mind, a false creation proceeding from the heat oppressed brain? I see thee still, in form as palpable as this which now I draw. Thou marshallest me the way that I was going, and such an instrument I was to use. Mine eyes are made the fools, or the other senses, or else worth all the rest. I see thee still, and on thy blade and dudgeon gouts of blood, which was not so before. There's no such thing. It is the bloody business which informs thus to mine eyes. Thou sure and firm set earth, hear not my steps which way they walk, for fear thy very stones prate of my whereabout, and take the present horror from the time which now suits with it. Whilst I threat, he lives. Words to the heat of deeds too cold breath gives. I go, and it is done. The bell invites me. Hear it not, Duncan, for it is a knell that summons thee to heaven or to hell. Thank you, and that was our last monologue of the night. Thank you so much for coming out and supporting us. We have another